Okay, well, welcome everyone. My name is Kelly. I own Dog Kind, and today we're going to be talking about dogs who are afraid of new people. Now, this is what I specialize in, is really fearful and sensitive dogs, and most of those dogs do have trouble when they're meeting or around people they're not familiar with. So today we'll talk about how we can help them become more comfortable with strangers. Dog afraid of new people, some helpful behaviors. This is for you if your dog is afraid of strangers and you would like them to be more comfortable around new people, but you're not sure what to teach them. And one of the first things I like to do when tackling a challenge like this is to reframe whatever it is we're thinking of that we want for our dog, something like comfort or confidence, which is another one I deal with a lot. Reframe that in behavioral terms. We can't train comfort because it's not a behavior. We know how to train behaviors though. So instead, try to come up with something for your dog like, I'd like my dog to do X or Y or Z or X, Y, and Z around new people, and then we're going to teach those behaviors. Okay, so what behaviors should we teach our dogs so that they can become quote unquote more comfortable with visitors or strangers, guests, whatever, kind of sort of new or unfamiliar person you would like your dog to behave differently around. Behaviors I like to start with are often things that your dog can already do on cue. So if you ask them, they know the word or maybe a hand signal for it. Or behaviors your dog already does on their own pretty frequently. I also like behaviors that get your dog to move away if you would like them to move away. Especially get them to move away from visitors if perhaps they've gone a little too close and now they're not comfortable. And I also like to use activities that my dog already enjoys. So I thought it might be helpful. This can be kind of personalized to your dog, but I thought it might be helpful to tell you what works well for Pancake. What are the behaviors that we have used to help him be more comfortable around strangers? So number one is mat work. Go to your mat or settle on your mat. I use this a ton with Pancake in a lot of different scenarios, including when we have guests. And I have this photo here is, let's see, this is the full photo, and those legs belong to a stranger who is staying with us for a couple days in the kitchen. So Pancake is using one of his mat locations that he knows very well and waiting for someone to give him something for his trouble. This is another example. He's on a mat and there are visitors behind him at the table. And I have a short video I can show you. So here is Pancake is standing in the kitchen and the person with the red shirt is a stranger, someone he doesn't really know. And this is a bit more advanced. I was obviously not in the kitchen. I was sitting in the living room, but because we had worked on the verbal cue for go to your mat, I saw him like standing, I thought a little too close to that person. I said, go to your mat. And so he backs up there and lies down on his mat. So that was really helpful to get him to give himself some space when sometimes he otherwise doesn't always make like the best choices with new people. So that's mat work. Another one I use a lot is come over here, which is just like a mini recall. And I again use this a lot to move Pancake away when he's getting a little too close to people and he might not be comfortable, and also to get him to reorient, like if he's staring at a stranger. And sometimes when he stares at people who are visiting, they misunderstand and take that as an invitation to like reach out toward him or try to pet him, which would be a mistake. So I like to come here because I can get him to turn away from a visitor and move away and get a little bit of space. For example, I think I have a little, and a recall or a come here doesn't have to be a big behavior. It doesn't have to cover a lot of distance. Let me see if I can find the clip. So here, Pancake's actually on leash. We just come in from a hike. He's in the kitchen, and there are people everywhere. I think this was probably around Thanksgiving or something. And so here he's walking over towards someone and staring. And I said, okay, come back over here. So that was just a little mini recall to get him to move away from a person. The last thing I like to give him to do when there are people around, and this doesn't have to be right near strangers, this can be a nice thing to give your dog to do like in a different room or a different area, not right in the middle of the action, are sniffing games or searching games. And in this photo here on the left, Pancake's searching for treats amongst these boxes I've set up. I will be teaching a live sniffing games class for fearful dogs next month, so watch out for that if this is something you're interested in. This is an example of something that you do train, but it's something that most dogs take to quite readily and often enjoy. And so if people coming to the house predicts, oh, now mom's going to set up that sniffing game for me, that can be a really nice association with visitors, and also can give them something to do that isn't staring at visitors, worrying about visitors. Just have them do something fun. Okay, so action steps, if you would like to sort of put any of this into practice, is to first choose those behaviors to teach. And remember, to make it sort of less effortful for you and your dog, you want to pick stuff your dog already knows how to do, or already enjoys doing, or already does on their own. And you need to practice quite a bit when strangers aren't around. So when it's easy. The mats you saw in those photos and videos, those are down all the time in our house, and Pancake gets practice with them all the time. Once your dog can do whatever behaviors you want to use very easily, when strangers aren't around, you can start to practice with visitors, but you want to give your dog as much sort of support and help with getting those behaviors right as you need to. And that could mean extra prompting, distance from the visitors. You'll see in a lot of the videos I have Pancake on leash just in case he makes a decision that isn't going to help our cause. So set your dog up to get it right. If you don't already have the Caring for Your Fearful Dog guide, the free guide, go to dogkindtraining.com/care and you can get it there.